Oh, guys, I mean, what a game tonight, huh? What a game tonight. Look, let's get one thing straight right off the bat, okay? If you get early goals, okay? If you get early goals against a team like Colorado, that doesn't mean that they're not gonna score, okay? If you're getting early goals against Colorado, it does not mean you're getting away with something here, okay? That they're just not gonna show up. Ever can you expect that? Might happen, but that's the outliers, right? That's not the part that actually that you should expect from a team like Colorado. What you should expect if you get you got nice, guys. Nice. Hey, welcome to everybody in the chat as well, too. You know what I mean? Making comments that you're just joining in for the first time maybe tonight, or, you're just watching, you're thinking about getting involved in the chat, you're a little nervous. Don't worry, everybody here is real friendly, really awesome, and makes a lot of good jokes, okay? But when you go up when you go up against a team like the Colorado Avalanche, and you fall asleep a little bit, and I mean that respectfully, you're going to face things like 50 shots. You're going to face things like 50 shots from a team like Colorado Avalanche. You got to be ready for it. You got to be able to try and shut it down. I mean, I don't know. That team is so good, right? And after we trounced them at home in Toronto earlier this season, the game I was at, hey, because my buddy there brings me, right? Big Colorado fan. I'm going to have to take it from him today. See, that's the fates. That's the hockey fates owing me one now. Right? At least he gets to brag now about the Colorado one. You know, weird things like that happen in hockey. You gotta just take them as they come, right? So they got 50 shots, but they also got like 31 hits. Colorado had 31 hits, and Toronto, I think, only had about 23. Now, what I love is a lot of the analytics types out there will tell you that, oh, you have a lot of shots, then the other person has a lot of hits. That's because they were chasing you around the whole game, right? If you're getting a lot of hits, they'll say, it's because you don't have the puck. If you're getting a lot of hits in this game, it's because you're not controlling the puck. You have too much time to be throwing hits. No, what it means is that they're more willing to finish the hits that present themselves, okay? They're more willing to finish the hits that Toronto could have finished themselves, but they don't play that way. Now, I'm not saying they have to, but that shows you right there, though, that you can have a lot of hits and still a lot of shots, okay? There are plenty of hits to be had in hockey, but most teams, including the Toronto Maple Leafs, obviously, but most teams are stepping back in how many hits they're throwing. From what I'm seeing, at least the level of hits. They might be getting the small little ones that still register in the numbers and everything like that. We've all seen it now, right? The big hits just do not happen like they do back in the 90s, and for a lot of reasons, they probably shouldn't happen as often, right? They probably shouldn't happen as often. But you can have a lot of hits and a lot of shots. That is not an impossibility. Those are not mutually exclusive things. More shots, no hits, or more hits, no shots. That's not how it goes in hockey. So many different things can happen at the same time, opposites, neither time. Like, it's a game, man. And just because something's more probable doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time. And a team like Colorado is that team that can find their way through a 20% chance, or a 15% chance, or a 3% chance. Colorado's one of those teams that's got heart. They seem to have team chemistry. They play for each other, not for themselves, is what it seems like. These are objective or subjective terms. But because of that, right, you can never write them off. They might be that 2%, no matter how dire the situation. So good on them. You know, the Leafs did get a few quick goals. Matthews is looking good, catching up so far to Draisaitl. You know, slowly but surely. I heard Shirley's going after Draisaitl too. So the man's not safe, right? The man's not safe when he's got guys like Matthews and Shirley coming up, chasing him. You know what I mean? So, can't complain about that. Unfortunately, just Colorado was so dominant, man. It was their energy, it was their attack, it was their aggression, if you will. Aggression in sports doesn't always have to mean anger, guys. What it means is just not waiting at all. They're not apprehensive. It's like the opposite of apprehensive. Instead of holding back, they're just always on it, right? They're a fast team. A guy like McKinnon is just lightning. If you've ever seen him skate in live at the arena, you don't even need to see the man's number. As soon as he starts doing the first 2 or 3 strides, you're like, that's McKinnon. He's such a good skater. He's so good at being smooth, efficient with his stride. He's one of those guys that doesn't even look like he's trying hard when he's skating, and he's flying. He's flying out there. So Good on him, man. You know, Leafs started hot early and Colorado said, hold my beer, you know? Now, it wasn't all lost. There were some good efforts at times here, right? There was times in the third period especially where you saw a couple things, okay? I want to get into this real quick, right? Like, Sandin rips it off the crease to save a goal, all right? And later on, or before, I can't remember which, Holl spreads out along the ice, kind of like Brody did the other day, to block a pass. Like, he kind of fell, I think, maybe even two. I'm not sure if it was an intentional slide, but he made sure to keep the arm along the ice, like along it, not above, waving around like a maniac, along the ice to block that pass in case they tried to slide it through, and they did. And look, I know Holl's not a perfect guy, and to be honest, if there was a good trade for him, I mean, we'd take it. We know that, but we'd take a good trade for Matthews if there was one. A good trade is a good trade, right? So I don't look at it as like, oh, Holl needs to be traded. I look at it as like, yeah, he's probably got some room to improve, man. But he's not as bad as Leafs fans out there like to make it sound. He's not as bad as that, man. He's got some high hockey IQ, and if he works at it, I'm telling you, this guy could be at least a career NHLer. You know what I mean? He may never be something special that you hear about all the time. I don't know. He might have a career of being on 12 different teams by the end of his days, you know? But if you're playing hockey for a lot of money still, and you're doing the thing you love doing, I mean, I got no problem with a guy like Holl being in the league. I think he's going to be all right, you know? So, especially when you see that outstretched play like that, oh, I just love that stuff. That's all I'm saying. How do you quantify that? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that's been going around in this analytics department, you know what I mean? On every team nowadays. How do you quantify something like that? And what do we mean by quantify? Right? We want to talk about, like, is a guy willing to be able to slide across and block a puck like that? There's no way to track every last individual effort that you make, right? Blocking stuff like that. But you guys know where I'm going, right? You guys know where I'm going. What does go up or not go down because of a play like that? Or even better, that Sandin one. Like I said, the Sandin one where it was in the crease and he smacks it away before someone else can get to it. How do we quantify smacking the goal, the puck away from the crease before the opponents can get to it? Right? It's not a minus. You see what I'm saying? The fact that he did that stopped his minus count from going lower. Right? Same with Holl to some extent. They still might not have scored, but still doing that kind of stuff time and time again, reducing passing lanes, creating turnovers, you know, being able to put the extra physical effort in when you need to be able to get a goal or get a poke check or whatever else like that. What's the same thing that all these things that are positive that Leslie and I love seeing? What are all these things that we love seeing the grinders do? Where does that end up? Where does that end up? Well, I tell you, it ends up in plus, okay? It ends up in pluses overall. It ends up in a lot of zeros as well to keep you out of the negative. When you're not doing stuff like that, you will find yourself on more negatives than you would be if you put the extra effort in. And that's how you quantify it. We can't quantify the units of caring. That doesn't exist. We can't quantify the units of effort. You don't measure it like that. But all this stuff affects one number more than any other number on the entire thing. Right? Because everything affects that number. The other team's effort as well affects your number. Right? It's not just you, and I know that. But when you keep finding yourself in winning situations time and time again, what number keeps going up? Well, bam! It's this one! You know it. I know it. Sorry if the analytics department doesn't know about it yet, okay? Sorry if Dubas and company, trust me, they probably know about this stuff more than you or me or anybody. Leafs do it right. I like it. But who knows about it? We know about it. Plus, baby. Plus. Okay? Stop putting in the extra effort. Start letting more shots get through. Stop letting more passes get through. Start letting 2-on-1s kind of go to the wayside because you don't want to back check. What's going to keep going down? Your minus. Minus. make dumb decisions in the offensive zone that don't even relate to goals. You know what I mean? Let's say you don't get scored on, but you keep wasting your shots. You keep, messing up in front of the net. You're getting all these expected goal opportunities, but you keep ringing posts and stuff like that. Where does that show up? In a lack of plus, minus. And is it any coincidence that Cale Makar, right, the newly defined defenseman of the league, was a +3 tonight? And people, I don't want you to forget here, there's another name that's going to pop up right after him. Because a +3, and I think he got a goal or something in there too, I think, right? Makar did. So that's great. But there's another guy that nobody's talking about except for, was it it was me. I kept bringing up Devon Toews, didn't I? So like all the people, you know what I mean? Makar this and Makar that and everything else, that's fine. He could be the best defenseman in the league. I don't know, all right? But all I'm saying is, it's not just him. It's not just him out there. You got Devon Toews killing it this year, okay? And you're telling me that somehow it's not helping Makar? Like, do we start saying that Makar's skills and stats don't count because Devon Toews is doing his job? Nobody questions that, right? Why not? Devon's out there helping, man, and he helped tonight with the big OT winner against Toronto. You know what I mean? And this is how a true Leafs fan does things, okay? We lose and we figure out a way to still be positive about it. So that's what I'm doing. Even though I was furious, I slammed my phone shut because I was down here setting up late, right? I got down to the wire. So I'm watching it on my phone. And when the Leafs let in that goal, I slammed my phone shut. I didn't want to look at it. Like, you know what I mean? Slide the screen across, or whatever. Click the button. I forget. I'm old, guys. I have my fit, okay? And then I immediately thought, well, at least it was Devon Toews, though. Because at least now I get to be happy about something, right? So please, okay? Tell me I shouldn't be talking about Devon Toews anymore. Everyone else. I know you guys in the chat, you know what's up, right? And you know this is where it's coming. So that's pretty much what I have to say about anything in there. It's kind of a lousy game to go out on, but at the same time, lousy games are gonna happen. And when a lousy game is gonna happen, I'd rather it be 5-4 in overtime and we get a point than 5-0 at home or something like that, where I have to leave there after spending $300 on my ticket or something. Not that I ever pay. Like, I got money for that kind of stuff. Come on now. Right? So, that's where I'm at. We'll get into the things now. I want to see if what I'm missing, because I've been ranting too long. But, again, thank you all for your support at all times. And when I'm doing these rants and stuff like that, I appreciate you sticking around and listening to them and everything. I appreciate anybody who watches replays on YouTube afterwards and hits subscribe or follow on here or throws bits, into the cheer stuff. We got AKZ saying that, like, one of these streams he's going to buy a bunch of Twitch bits and just keep spamming sounds until he can't talk without hearing, and his name is John Cena! Hey, that was pretty good, like, for a vocal impersonation of how that goes down. I thought that was pretty good. But yes, it's a lot of fun around here, so spam away whenever you got things to spam, okay? So, yeah, let's get into the comments now. I want to see what did I miss. What did I miss?